Hi creatures, my name is Gremlin and you are currently watching Myths We Keep. Okay, genuine question. Are mermaids real? Because people have been arguing for centuries across oceans they didn't really understand and across cultures that never even spoke to each other. And I think the reason this question won't die is because the ocean leaves an uncomfortable amount of space for imagination. Today, we're doing a deep dive into mermaids, pun intended. Where the idea came from, why people kept seeing them, and why we still claim to see them even when the video footage is only around 3 pixels. This is not about debunking anything. It's more so to understand why when faced with something mysterious and unknowable, we immediately feel the urge to humanize it. But before we go any further, I'm not a marine biologist and I'm definitely not a scientist. This video is purely for entertainment purposes, not research. Thank you. One of the biggest misconceptions about mermaids is that they're a consistent myth, but they're not. They're more like a genre. For example, in ancient Greece, one of the closest equivalents were sirens. And originally, they weren't even fish. They were part bird. These creatures sat on rocky cliffs, singing beautiful songs that lured sailors into shipwrecks and death. Which honestly makes more sense if you think about it, because birds screaming near cliffs sounds way more dangerous than a hot fish woman taking you out for a swim. Now, the fishtail came later. For example, in Norse and Celtic folklore, we get selkies. These are seals that shed their skin in order to become human. Eerie, right? But as spooky as this sounds, these stories weren't really about danger, but more so about loss. Because selkies almost always want to go back to the sea, naturally. But if a human decides to find their skin and hide it, selkies are stuck to stay on the land. There are many tales where a man does exactly this, surprise, surprise, marries the selkie woman, builds a life with her, and she is forced to mourn her ocean home. Heartbreaking. But to be honest, I do think is a very blunt and amazing metaphor for a lot of women experiences, especially when this would have been written. Now let's head over to Japan, where you get ninja. Unlike Western tradition, these creatures weren't necessarily depicted as beautiful or seductive, but more so as strange and unsettling, which I find all the more interesting personally. Now, seeing one was considered a bad omen, but eating one could grant mortality. Ninja were believed to curse anyone who would try to harm or capture them, which, fair game. So already we are seeing something interesting. Despite how different all of these myths are, they all do one very similar thing. They humanize the ocean. Because as we know, the ocean is deeply inconvenient to understand. It covers more than 70% of the Earth, yet only a very small fraction has actually been physically seen by humans. So we do what humans always do. We give it a face, a body, emotions, and intentions. Because at the end of the day, mermaids aren't really about human-fish hybrids, but more so about making the unknown feel familiar. So we don't have to sit too long with the fear of it. Now, let's talk about sightings, because yes, there has been genuine reports of mermaid sightings, and a lot of them too. Even Christopher Columbus famously claimed to see mermaids in 1493. His review was mixed. He said they're not as beautiful as they are painted, which is possibly the first recorded case of someone leaving a negative review on what appeared to be a mythical creature sighting. Although, what he most likely saw were manatees. And listen, manatees are lovely, gentle, slow, peaceful, and also known as sea cows, which is really, really cute. But they're not exactly winning Miss Universe in comparison to the famous modern tales of mermaids that we know today. Although they float upright and they have forward-facing eyes and arms moving in a way that almost seem intentional. And if you're tired, sunburnt, and spent quite a bit of time in a voyage where nothing has really happened, I think your brain might fill in some gaps. Okay, let's talk about Fiji mermaids. This was a famous hoax where a monkey torso was sewn onto a fishtail. The result was a sort of mummified, half human, half fish creature. And yeah, it's upsetting to look at, but I personally think that makes it all the more believable. Today, you can find these cuties displayed in museums. Definitely not so much as evidence or proof, but more so as a historical commitment to the bit. Then we have our modern sightings. Now, you've probably seen one of these viral footages on YouTube or TikTok and thought to yourself, where's the evidence? Because as cool as it is to believe that we have caught these creatures on camera, they all tend to include a shape moving too smoothly, a silhouette sitting on a rock, or something diving into the water that seems a little too intentional. And I think we all know this doesn't hold up too much scrutiny, but they don't really need to. Mermaids don't survive because of evidence, they survive because naturally we want the mystery, of course. Now, looking at most myths, science has caught up already, and usually they fade because of this. But mermaids haven't really. And I think because being creatures of the ocean, the idea that something might exist out there, something that we can relate to and understands the ocean better than we ever will, isn't exactly horrifying, but more so comforting. So are mermaids actually real? Probably not. Unfortunately, there's no direct scientific evidence of aquatic humanoids living undetected in the sea. But that's okay. As cool as it sounds for mermaids to be real, I honestly think they'd be deeply tired of us. We are constantly causing destruction to the ocean and not doing nearly enough about it as we need to. Although if you do love the ocean and do want to see a change to these potential mermaid homes, please look at the link I'm going to attach in the video description. But let's keep in mind that mermaids are more so enablers of the power of curiosity and wanting to explore the extraordinary. And another way of asking what might be out there. This has been Myths We Keep. This is a series where I explore myths we still keep around today, even though science has truly caught up to them. Thank you all so much for watching, and I really do wish I could stay. But unfortunately, I have to go before another deranged man tries to steal and hide my skin.